All right, we're back in New York City. We're talking with Carl Craig, checking him out after his performance at the Detroit Electronic Music Festival movement this weekend. It was a great buzz. You had a fantastic time performing, or how'd that feel for you?
Yeah, it was great. It was fantastic. I mean, getting it together, getting to that point took a lot of work, and it took a lot of brain power. And up to the wire, I was still making sure that it was as perfect as I could get it. So I'm really happy with what came out. Detroit is seen as like almost like a mecca for electronic music. We're always trying to find things to do, and we're making our own entertainment constantly. Especially when synthesizers came around, it was very easy for us to, just go to our bedrooms and make this music, or sit in our parents' basements, or do whatever. A show as 6ix9ine, I'd done them as Paperclip People, or something else. So it really made sense that to launch 6ix9ine this year was something that would have a great story, but also it would give me the opportunity to do something a bit different than what I'd done. I think it was 4 or 5 masks that I wore, and the full facial masks were just complete identity cover up, and then the masks that only covered the eyes were to slowly reveal the person behind the mask. My influence in Detroit is just being in Detroit. We have a plethora of buildings that are just abandoned, and when I started making music and really getting into it, I felt that my music was a way of beautifying Detroit in my own way. I didn't have the money to do any changes, so I would do it through my music. The Heidelberg project, I was shown when I was about 19 years old. It blew my mind. I mean, anybody who had the balls to do something like that, I think the first piece that I saw they did were old doll heads that would cover the whole house, But as time went on, you started to see that it was a reaction to his surroundings. It was a reaction to dilapidation that was happening very quickly in Detroit. The people that were moving out and just leaving these places abandoned and stuff. But it became a beautification thing as well, And I think later on I saw it maybe more for a beauty thing, but initially I saw it just strictly for the statement. We're the ones with Juan and Derek and Kevin that took it overseas. So, it brought that Kraftwerk flag bearing back to Europe, and then, somebody else brought it back from Europe over here, and it just keeps bouncing back and forth faster and faster and faster. And, by the time techno became what we know as techno, LA was into gangster rap, and they weren't doing the music anymore. So we were able to hold on to that. This music has not been restricted in the sense of language because it has no words. it was restricted commercially here in Detroit because it doesn't have words. But because it doesn't have words, it made it possible for people in Germany to hear it and appreciate it. People in Amsterdam, in Holland, people in France, people in Japan. You know, it made it really something that was a global music. You know, it wasn't just about rapping about your neighborhood or, you know, singing love songs or anything like that. It was about emotion and feeling that come from, you know, from sounds, that come from beats and rhythms and melodies and sequences and all these things. So, you know, it helped the music to not be restricted.
It's Carl Craig, straight from Detroit, and you're watching GoFest TV.